First thing, it comes in a hard plastic case. Now I don't know if I can leave this case out in the sun and be, unconcerned that it would melt, because it does feel like your basic high density, maybe low density polyethylene, whatever it is, number 1, number 2 plastic kind of thing. But let's take a look. So this is a nice case, but this is a styrene insert. And I'm looking for a recycling number on it to see that it actually is like a number 3 or a number 6 or something. I have no idea what it is, but I think pretty sure it's styrene. So I like the case. I like the idea that there's a case, but I'm going to put foam in it. And it basically begs the question: why couldn't they use something like a stiff foam, like this kind of like a foam kind of with foam cutouts, because I'm not going to use the styrene. I'm not going to keep the styrene in here. I don't like the way it feels, quite honestly. But here it is, and everything does have a little bit of a cutout to it. I don't know why they have a big cutout for the instructions, but there it is. There's our instructions. And here's the unit. Now, interestingly enough, the the pictures of the images on the Amazon listing have no brand. I mean, I looked at all of them and I could not see any images of this device with, well, I should say I did see some images with what looks like Chinese printing on the top, where we see here the HTI 9829, or HT8, oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, so this is branded. And then on the back of it, the camera will show this to you, but that's what it says on the back of it. Professional instrument manufacturers. Well, what's that? I don't know. But here we go. So when I turn it on, let's get the camera in here so you can see this a little bit better. All right, there you go. When I turn it on, so we get the backlight comes on, and it counts down. Now, presumably, this is a countdown while it heats the wire. There's a lot of different ways you can do a hot wire anemometer, so we'll not really talk all about that. I'm going to hook it up, but notice that the backlight stays on. And I've really already played with this. I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like. Back out here a little bit with the camera. So they give you the little power supply. I mean, I would say ditch the power supply, because I got zillions of these things, and put some nice stiff foam in here instead of the styrene. If we're gonna talk about what to spend money on and where to cut costs, ditch this. Put some foam in there. All right, let's see here. So they have twisty ties around everything as expected. Now this thing is an interesting little doohickey. Because you plug this thing in. Now I'm gonna shut the main unit off, and I'm gonna plug this in. And this is a 4-pin DIN connector, okay? And it goes in the end here like that, and push it in. Now, what I noticed about this, when I was looking at this online, I was looking at the listing, I'm wondering, okay, so what do they do? Do they wad the wire up into the handles to make it so that you can extend it with this telescoping thing here? Well, no. The end of this is open. And when I telescope this, it literally pulls the wire in and out of this thing as I telescope this. Okay, so the next part of this. The end of it, as it's stored in the case, has a cover over the wire. And the reason that is because if you never had one of these, or never seen one of the ones that the pros use, by the way, we're getting a lot closer to what the pros use with this. The wind vane things, no. The people who are doing this serious stuff, measuring wind speed and whatnot, wind tunnels and fluid dynamics and that stuff, they're using hot wire sensors. So it's got a tight rubber boot on the end of it, and you have to take that off to work with this. All right, and this is like rubber, so this will eventually wear out, and then I'll have no cover for it. So I mean, where would I get another one of these? Now, if you look at the sensor on here, there's literally 2 sensors. So 2 of those wires, or 2 of the pins that in that connector, go to the temperature sensor, which is the lower one. And then there's the hot wire, which is the top one. Now, I was hoping when I looked at this that I would, that I would get something that really was non-directional. But I still have a theory, and I've not played with this enough to know, that you have to point this thing into the wind so the wind goes through the opening. And it's still, if I have this pointed in the wrong direction, I'm not going to get a maximum wind speed reading. However, when I took it outside to get wind speed readings, it didn't seem to matter too much what way I had it pointed. It wasn't as difficult as the ones that have the little fans in them. And another thing about this thing is I get an instantaneous reading. It's not like I have to wait for the fan to spool up or slow down in terms of responding to the changes in the wind speed. So I really like that part of it. It was interesting to me though that when I extend the wire, so the wire is only so long, so if I extend the wand, what I'm doing is I'm not getting any more length from the wire. I'm actually taking the wire up into that thing. But I think this is better than trying to wind or wad or let the wire crimp and bend in the bottom of the handle. I've seen that in other devices where they have something where you've got a wire inside of it and you've got an extendable, an extension of some sort, and they just have the wire fastened at the end and it just basically bunches up or stretches out. I like this idea better. I think this is enough wire. I really do. I haven't had any reason, because my arms aren't that long, to be concerned about that. Another thing that I think is really awesome about this, compared to all of the other ones that I've ever had, is that when it comes up, it remembers what I had it set to. I've never had one that does that. The backlight stays on. The whole time the thing is on. And I can turn the backlight on and off. Check this out. It's got a trap door, an openable compartment. Let's take a look at that. This is what's in there. And while you might have to work a little bit to find a replacement battery for this, that is replaceable. This is a much more doable proposition for your average consumer. Now, if I can get the camera to focus on it, that'll be cool. I'll do it this way. But that's what's in there. I don't know, I haven't taken this apart yet, so I don't know if there's a connector in there or you have to desolder it. Well, so all of a sudden we've gone from a doable proposition to a, oh, now what proposition. But it's a step in the right direction. Let's see here. I'm impressed with this. I really like it. It seems to be accurate based on everything that I've tried to test it against. I only have 2 others, actually no, I have 3 others of anemometers, and they're all within 1 mile per hour of each other, and this is right in there with it. I'm really pleased with it. I don't think that there's anything that I can say that there's a drawback. This is bigger. You got the big case. This is not small compared to the other ones. So if you wanted to throw this inside of a toolbox, it's not going to fit quite as easily as one of those other small ones. So that might be the only drawback. And I could see that being a non-starter for some people. For me, I like this. And I want something that's accurate, and I want something that I don't have to really work hard to use. I turn it on, I take the wind speed, I read it, I'm done. Bam. I get a maximum speed reading, and I know what the gust is. That's all I want to know. But I want to know it like that. I want to be able to get out there and do this and then get the reading. The other ones, you have to futz with them, or at least I do, to get what I want out of them. So this thing for me is more convenient. That's it. So one of the things that this is sorely lacking, once again, so many of these electronic devices, it's got a rechargeable battery. Well, it's got a battery, period. I don't care if it's rechargeable or I just got to put another alkaline in it. There's no battery level indicator. Nope. It does have an indicator that tells you it's time to recharge the battery, but what does that mean? It means, well, okay, battery's dead. I got to recharge it. I want to know how much I have left. I want to know if it's half full or 3/4 full or 100% charged. I just want to know where I am so that I can make sure that I have enough charge on the battery to do whatever it is I want to do with it. So there's that. battery level indicator, not just one that says, oh, it's dead, now you got to charge it. I know it's dead, it won't turn on. Just really, come on.